I know he was supposed to be on last week, but that's my bad. But he's a great friend of ours. We hung out with Tori Ruffin and saw an amazing show. Tori playing guitar with Morris Day in the Time a little over a week ago on the New Haven Green in New Haven, Connecticut. He is the guitarist with Freak Juice, his own band, Morris Day in the Time, Fishbone, and also a club owner with his brother out in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So he's awful busy, and I want to thank Tori for stopping by and spending some time with us. So your head must be spinning these days, right?
Oh man, I definitely didn't realize what leisurely time really meant to me. Now right. That I have none of it. Let's talk a little bit about the Freak Juice Lounge, and then we'll talk a little later. But yeah, man.
You're a professional musician for so many years, touring around the world. You were just in Japan with the Time, running your own club with your brother. What's the secret to not going crazy and getting those people who are loving the place?
Man, I haven't found that. I haven't found out not going crazy part, but the getting people to love it, man. I just we've been being a musician. I've been in bars and clubs all my life, and I've seen the worst and the best of them, and I just try to take the best of what I've seen. And one club comes into mind in particular is the club River Phoenix died at the Viper Room in L.A.
Okay,
but
yeah.
Going to the Viper Room, man, and I've always said this, like every time I come into a room, generally bars, music is like an afterthought. First of all, our club is like it's really just a bar, mm-hmm. but I set it up like a live music venue. But what I was saying is when you get to the Viper Room, the sound and the vibe is amazing, but mainly the sound. And for me, it's like when you go somewhere and it sounds amazing,
right?
Then you're gonna have a good time, and when it looks good, you're gonna have a good time. So
right.
If you go someplace and it's too loud or just crappy sound or engineer doesn't know what he's doing or it's just an afterthought for live music, then you're not going to hang out that. So when I did the Juicemaker Lounge, I wanted to be a live music haven for live music lovers and musicians. So that was my thought process of it. I brought in backline gear, all the drums, guitar rigs, and not just some bullshit guitar rigs, like some real, my personal guitar rigs are there.
Right.
And then a great bass rig and some keys. So that was my thought process behind it. Now, so that's how we kind of envision the lounge. Now, my brother is a marketing and managing guy, like, and it wasn't for him, the lounge would definitely not be doing as well because, it's a lot more to run in a bar than I anticipate.
Right.
But I'm happy I did it. So it's a lot of work, but it's fun. I'm always, it's a different part of my life now. So I'm happy I did it.
So for our listeners out there who are going to make the trip out to Tulsa, Oklahoma, why don't you give the specifics on where it's located and what can they expect music-wise? Right.
It's at 3508 South Sheridan. Google, for some reason, is saying north, and we have to fix that, but it's South Sheridan. It's in Midtown, Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's really easy to get to. It's between 44 and 51st highways, so it's really easy to get to. As long as you go South Sheridan, you shouldn't have any problem. What you can expect on Fridays, we have a DJ, and that's for the DJ and music lovers, DJ people that like to dance. And it's really more of it's definitely not. I can't say they don't play any Prince, but it's more of for younger hip hop.
Right.
30, they're playing things that I don't understand, but that's why my brother runs that night.
Yeah, that's right. Hey,
I let him do that.
Right. I always,
but being around it enough, I try and soak up whatever's the new, and I'm trying to find, beware, I might have some boom. I call it the boom boom room on Friday because everything goes boom boom with the 808.
Right.
So that's what's happening on Fridays, and we got a jam session on Monday. We got Tuesdays. We're trying out Tuesday. Tried out some karaoke. Wednesday we're doing live reggae. Thursday is a really cool night. We have like a live music, live band, and then we got hip hop artists, poets, and musicians all come in jam. And that's a really cool night because it's really positive and it's current, and you get all different styles and walks of life in there. We have the band consists of bass drums, keyboards, and a violin that's from the opera, which is really good. So, and then Friday, like I said, is the DJ room. Saturday, it just depends. Like we had amazing artists. We try and focus on great bands on Saturday,
right?
And then once a month we have another reggae night that does really good. But Saturday is reserved for the great bands. We had an artist from Oklahoma City that was on American Idol, and this guy was incredible. His name is Thaddeus Young, and he was amazing. His vocals were just look for that guy. I hope he does something. He is truly a special talent. So that's what we're doing at the lounge. Sunday we have blues and burgers, free burgers with perfect cocktail, and we got a really great blues player that comes in, Holly Ham. I'll sit in and jam, get my blues on.
Right.
I try not to fit in too much because I don't want the musicians to be like, oh, damn it, here comes Tori again. We can't ever play without him.
Right.
So on occasion, I'll play, But Freak Juice has played there, obviously. We had a great turnout. We got, the best R&B and the best rock country. I sit in, they have this thing called Red Dirt music here, and Horton Records is really big they call it the Tulsa Sound, which is helping, we're going to do our release on Horton Records, but it's mainly Red Dirt country, but those guys come and play the lounge too. Really great blues player, Seth Lee, and Paul Benjamin and Jesse Aycock. I'm trying to get all those guys on the record too. I got Jesse Aycock on the record right now. He's like a Neil Young talent, if I had to liken him to somebody, but his songs are incredible. Paul Benjamin is a staple, a masterful guitarist out here, and we play together at his Sunday night thing, but he's incredible. Seth Lee is an amazing blues. Dick slide, plays a lot of slide, but he's a monster. So we got a lot of diversity at the Juicemaker Lounge. I don't want to, just like Freak Juice, man, I never wanted it to be one thing. You go into some clubs and it's just one thing, man. That would drive me nuts.
Right.
I like diversity. I like inclusiveness. I like, all kinds of music. I've had obviously jazz. I'm a big jazz head, so a lot of the heavy jazz guys around here will play some gigs. But so that's what's happening at the Juicemaker Lounge. Just like Freak Juice, you never know what's going to happen. Never know what you're going to run.
And Tori also, of course, his own band, Freak Juice, and guitarist With the Time. We're going to get into something right now. This came out 2007. We're going to talk more about the upcoming studio release from Freak Juice, and Tori's been kind enough to send along some previews of some of the music. This is from Like You, Tori Ruffin, and Freak Juice. It's called The Other Side, right here on WBOF.
You go.
All right, of course, that is Freak Juice, groovy things right there from Tori Ruffin's band, Freak Juice. Tori Ruffin joining us in between gigs, and you just played New Haven, Connecticut, a stone's throw away from the, practically it's on the campus of Yale University, an outdoor show. And where you played after that? You went down to Memphis, right, or Indianapolis?
We went to Indianapolis. The Memphis show got canceled. Sometimes you run into promoters that don't do what they say they're going to do.
Oh, okay,
but
right.
yeah, we went down to Indianapolis. That was a great time. Now we got 3 weeks off, man. So I'm looking forward. I'm here mashing on my record as we speak.
That's right. So, talking about the new record, what have you you told me a little bit about it. It's got the Freak Juice sound, but you got a few political stuff. And what's going on in the studio and in your mind and laying down those tracks?
Well, this country's been in turmoil, man, and it's been weighing heavy on my heart. So you're right about things like that. I mean, but I've written some things, but I like to think that they all have positive outcomes, but sometimes life is not positive. So I got a lot of different things on there, since the last time we spoke, of course, P's passing that weighed heavy on me, obviously is huge influence.
Yeah, we're talking about Prince,
guitar.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. My guitar playing and just, songwriting. And I mean, you might not be able to hear that, but if you listen to the guitar parts, it's definitely Minneapolis. Mm-hmm. When I'm playing rhythm,
right.
Man, it's totally even if it's in a heavy setting, but yeah, so a lot's been going on. So I wrote a couple things that are not finished yet, but just kind of a tribute to him.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to have, and the last record I put a couple of time things on too. Well, there were more talking and joking around about. I'm gonna put a couple of. I got a blues song that I'm really excited about. I'll play just a snippet of it because I haven't really recorded it yet, but I wanted you to hear the vibe anyway. I want you guys to hear the vibe. I got a tune I'm dedicating to Prince called "Beautiful," mm-hmm. And I'm not sure of the title yet, but
right.
We call it "The Beautiful" right now. But
hey, let me ask you about speaking of Prince, and you guys were up at Paisley Park. You did a show up there just a few months before he passed away, and he was hanging out with you guys, right?
Yeah, sure was. It was great, man. He was really excited that we were there and mm-hmm. wanted us to come back, and he talked about managing the band.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, taking you to Europe and everything.
He said he wanted to take us to Europe, and man, that was really exciting news. We were all stoked. He said he loved the band. He loved everybody. He was stoked about our performances over the years. He talked about, how great, the musicology tour was, how much fun he had. There was a lot of, and we, so we were all pumped. And so, I imagine, not only for that reason when we heard the news like everybody else, but man, it was just it just came as a shock like everybody.
Yeah, crushing.
I believe because that you thought that I thought that guy would be around forever because I thought he was just like a health nut.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Total shock.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just wish we would have gotten help, but it just
man. You never know what's going on with a person. He hit it from everybody really well. I mean, even the inner circle, which I thought we were pretty close in, but had no signs of anything like that. But that's how private he was, and that's how what a genius he was. It's just on all levels of his career.
Mm-hmm. Right. So it's cool that the Time gives a tribute a couple times during the show with Prince stuff, and
oh yeah, man.
Yeah, gets a great reception from the fans.
Oh yeah, we've been doing it now ever since he passed. So I'm looking forward to maybe adding a few more Prince songs somewhere down the line, in the show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if anybody should do it, definitely should be more. So
that's right. Yeah.
I mean, if anybody can do it or has the keys to do it, it definitely should be Morris. I mean, those guys, grew up together and were in the studio together. He loved Morris like a brother.
Fought like brothers and, hugged like brothers, all 30 years.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So Tori Ruffin is with us. He's just an amazing musician, a great guy. We always love hanging out with Tori. And let's see, we can go in a few directions right here. I know you sent along some premieres of some stuff you've been working on for the new record. Do you want to play something from there that you sent me?
Yeah, this is called The Hypocrite.
Okay.
And it's a heavy thing. But, yeah, I think you guys will like it.
All right, so we're going to get into that right now. We're queuing it up instantaneously that Tori sent it along. So just hang tight, Tori.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. All right, we're going to play this right now. It's Tori Ruffin, Freak Juice world premiere, and we thank Tori for sending along new music. And here we go. This is Tori Ruffin, Hypocrite, right here on 88.5 WVOF in Fairfield, Connecticut. Mere taste from Tori Ruffin and Freak Juice, Hypocrite. And I want to thank Tori for dropping some new music and giving us the privilege of showing it to the world a little bit. Sounded really nice.
Thanks, man. I mean, get into the lyric. It's about the prayers. I don't want to give it away, but
right. So how many songs are you looking to round out to make a full LP?
I'm trying to do 12.
Mm-hmm. Right.
12 songs. But yeah, we got a lot. We got some fun stuff on there. We got it's gonna be as usual, pretty eclectic record.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm excited about. I'm excited about the sound of this one. It sounds really, to me, it sounds really good.
Right. So we've had you on the show a bunch of times. We know you talked a little bit about your love of all kinds of music and jazz, and even named your son Miles, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So you did something recently. You were telling me about doing some jazz study, playing guitar, and pushing yourself. Tell the audience, because I'm sure musicians out there would be interested. I mean, you've been playing music since '70s, '80s, but what'd you do to challenge yourself?
Well, for years I'd go on the road and I'd hear these guitarists, and I'm like, man, that is great. Where'd you go? And you go Berkeley, and then a lot of my favorite guitarists like Pat Metheny, Schofield, Mike Stern, a lot of players, they all went to Berkeley, and it's always been in the back of my mind. And before I opened up the club, and I was doing a lot of teaching, so I wanted to take my teaching to the next level as well. I wanted to maybe start being a teacher at a university. So I was like, so I called up, and I had some college credits, and I called up Berkeley, and it was like, yeah, with all your credentials and what you've done, blah blah blah, we can get you pretty in here and out relatively easy, they said. And so I went, just kind of, man, I just took a jazz studies, jazz improv, just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything, and it really was one of the best things I could ever do for myself, because it, like I said, it reinforced a lot of what I knew already, but then it put names to stuff that I was doing when I would transcribe solos or whatever from my favorite players. I'd see the notes, but I wouldn't really understand. I didn't understand where they were coming from, so that cleared that up.
Right.
I'm like, oh, really? Instead of just, back in the day, we used to have to listen to records, take the needle off, and you would learn these phrases and licks, and incorporate them into your own playing, but you really wouldn't know where they were coming from. And with the advent of the internet, you could read some stuff, and I was reading through stuff, and I still these notes would be there, and I wouldn't really understand where they coming, but I would hear them and I would play them, but I didn't understand. So that cleared that up. That was a real plus for me. I was like, oh, okay, this is what I'm doing, but this is what they call it,
Right.
And so a lot of stuff like it helped me utilize some stuff that I was underutilizing. I knew I was doing, but I was underutilizing it for that sound. So it was really just, man, it was like I was a kid. It was like I was 17 again, just really learning, that excitement about practicing. It really just pushed me, and so I'm excited. Like I want to continue. I was talking to the professor. He's like, "Oh yeah, like masters study with masters because jazz is infinite. You never stop learning or getting ideas from other players." And I mean, the Bruce Saunders, who's head of the jazz, one of the head of the jazz improv over there, man. He was telling me like, you know, that he has guys that he studies. So it's just like, and I've read articles with some of my favorite players that go, yeah, they study. So I was like, you know, you just never, guitar and music is there's infinite possibilities. So I've always, you know, been someone who had a thirst for knowledge and tried to expand my playing. And you know, so that's what I'm really, these next 3 years, I'm really what they call go back into the woodshed and keep, you know, take some of these courses and see what the next level is. I've been listening to Bobby Broom lately. His new record is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It has a lot of jazz things with like Ode to Billy Joel and Come Together. I was like, man, you know what? You know, because I'm a big fan of a lot of the '70s classic rock.
Right.
You know? And so I was like, man, if I was to make a jazz record, that's how I would do it. You know, some of these rock tunes, you know, and jazz them up. So I've been kind of experimenting with some Nirvana and stuff like that, jazzing them up, and it's been fun.
Yeah. I mean, that's, you know, what art's about, and you're just not doing the same thing over and over and over, you know.
Yeah, man, I've never, that's like I said, I can't just do the same thing over and over, and at least I try not to, you know.
Right.
So then, saying that, you know, when you're trying to put together tunes, you know, I was looking at my record, and I was like, man, I got a lot of cool changes and different things. I don't have any simple tunes on this one. Let me write a couple of simple things, you know.
Right.
So that's what the thing I got, the beautiful, and then I did something on this record I never had. I put a blues tune on there, so I'm gonna have Jelly Bean and Monty. Oh, Jelly Bean and Monty and Freeze are all on the record.
Right.
I got a lot of guests. It's gonna be guesting on it. I have this guy Alex Al who played with who was on the Michael Jackson "This Is It" tour.
Mm-hmm.
That was gonna happen.
Right.
But he plays with everybody in LA on everybody's records, and we came up together back in the '80s. We played on Morris's when he was on Jay Leno. Give Me What You Got.
Oh, that was the New Year's Eve show, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yep. Yeah. And Alex Al was on that, and we've always loved the time. Like, even before I got the gig, I think I told this story before. I didn't even have to. I had played the tune so much. When Morris called, you know, I just went up there and auditioned because I had already knew the stuff, and it was really fun. I was telling the story, man. Before Morris called, man. I was really like, I had my son being born, and you know, there's a lot of bills piling up, and I thought this was it. I was like, well, let me go down here and see what's happening. And then here we go, 25 years later. So I feel like I was meant to be in this band. You know what I mean? I feel like, you know.
Yeah.
But I diverted somewhere. What was I talking about again? That's that old stuff.
Yeah, you know what? I think because you were alluding to the new track, The Beautiful, and it's all right we play it?
Yeah, you know, maybe take 45 seconds. It's not done. It doesn't have any vocals on it, but say like 45 seconds of it, just so they can hear, you know, where I'm going with it.
And this is the one that you're paying tribute to Prince.
I'm going to dedicate to Prince. It definitely sounds Princey. You guys will hear it.
Okay. So this is Tori Freak Juice Ruffin right here, and it's top of the hour, 7 o'clock. Tori will be with us. You got time for another 15 minutes or so?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this is WVOF Joe Kelley here with the Upper Room, and this is the beautiful, a work in progress from the new Freak Juice Tori Ruffin record right here on VOF. From Freak Juice Tori Ruffin, that is called Time Juice, and I want to thank, we thanked him before, but he name dropped us and thanks in the next track called Juice Time. You gave a lot of credit to people that worked together with you, helping you out.
Yeah, that's definitely a homage to Rick Morris and, you know, all the fellows in the time, and just everybody like yourself that's always supported me.
And you know what? I didn't get a chance to say it Saturday night, but when I got home, Ross just told me to say hello to you guys.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So Ross, we said we missed him.
He's just around the corner. He said he plans on seeing you later this year. So.
Oh, cool. Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. So both of you guys got to make it to the Juicemaker Lounge when we do our
I know,
regular release.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have Jelly Bean and come down and trying to get everybody to come through. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, my niece goes to University of Oklahoma. She's going to be a senior, and my brother lives in Dallas, and he's always driving out to Oklahoma. So I gotta have him stop by the lounge too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So speaking of Tulsa, how did you start going out there and deciding to make it one of your homes?
Well, on about 2003, I guess it was.
Mm-hmm.
A buddy of mine, I spent some time in Texas early on for a couple of years, 18, 19. I was going to school in North Texas or whatever, playing in top 40 bands and whatnot. And a really good friend of mine, I hooked up with. I left. Obviously, went to LA and did my thing, and we were on the road. I was with timing with Eric Clapton or somebody. I forget. Jimmy Vaughn. Anyway, we were in the same hotel, and he goes, "Man, I seen you in LA, and I see you out there trying to do your original band. And I know that's tough out in LA, man. You got to come to Tulsa." I was like, "Where is Tulsa, and why would I go there again?" Make long story short, I came here, man, and in LA, I don't know if anybody's familiar with that scene, but when you're doing original members, like back in the day, it was just a race to get signed, and it was like 5 bands a night, 30, 40 minutes. You're lugging your gear. They treat you like crap.
No.
Anyway, so I came down to this country town, sort of Tulsa, Oklahoma, man, and we got to play all night. They paid us.
Oh, okay.
And,
that's important.
And, if anybody knows me, when I'm playing, I like to have a cocktail or two afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So it was 2:00, and it says, "Tori, you gotta. I'm not serving anymore. You have to go behind the bar and serve yourself." I was like, "Okay, I'm hooked." Because I had never heard of such a thing.
Right,
all
right.
my years of playing the club, you're gonna pay me, and at the end of the night, I can have an extra cocktail. So anyway, but the main thing was there was plenty of places to play. It reminded me of Austin back before. Austin was more like LA now. In terms of they got a lot of clubs to play, but it is crowded.
Right.
When we were coming up, it was. I think me and Charlie Red is his name. We played like the first South by Southwest when it was just local bands. So,
right.
He's like, "Man, Tulsa was just like Austin when we were kids." You're kidding me. So, yeah. So I started coming. So I flew down here, started going back and forth. I would spend a couple of weeks with him, and 3 months go by, and I come back almost and do Freak Juice, and I was just loving it, man. And I was renting a studio for all my, gear, because I was doing production and songwriting, obviously, stuff like with artists, and I was just paying just an exorbitant amount of price for like a 400 square foot closet,
Mm-hmm.
And when I'd come here, I'd ask, "Man, how much you pay for this house?" And I couldn't believe how the prices were so. It's the cheapest place in the country, is what I found out to live.
Right.
Tulsa is. So if you want to get a house out here for the price of an apartment, you can,
Wow.
and with nice square footage and a backyard, and you're not on top of it.
Right.
You don't have the mountains in the ocean, but I travel a lot, so that compensates for that. But the people down here are not what you expect. They're super nice, and the ones that are not, who they are right away.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it's comforting, because you don't have to guess. But when the people down here who love you, they really love you. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I love it. And all my buddies are here now. I've been coming down here now for about 10, 12 years, now. So, and with the bar, I've been here pretty consistently for the last 7 months. So, I miss my LA, but I'll get back there soon.
Yeah.
But Tulsa's fun, man. Tulsa's a great town, great city.
The Juicemaker Lounge. Hey, I got to ask you something because during the time show, you get a big spotlight playing to one of the sexy socialites that's chosen from the ladies up there, and it's
Right.
yeah. Now of all, every show pretty much happens like that. Has there been some really crazy moments? I'm sure, and bordering on out of control moments, right? How tough is it to play guitar when? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, man. Really, that's when the most fun. When girls just let loose and just have fun. Now we've had a couple of drunk ones that are intoxicated. Ones that they've gone overboard. But when even that was fun though, because but we try to just have some fun on stage when that happens. But the more animated they are,
right,
the better time it is,
right,
for the audience and for us, when they're really animated. Yeah, so they keep saying definitely, and yeah.
Yeah, the time brings up during the Bird, a lot of people on stage, and I forget if it was in L.A. or Rochester. I was watching a video on YouTube, and there was one guy up there. He pretty much the whole time he was taking selfies or videos of himself, but he walked up to Thomas and gave him like a really hard pound, like he pulled him into him, and you were playing guitar, and you just peeked over and like, you were going to have Thomas's back if it got out of control.
Oh yeah, man. I was like, you're all right, and that's weird. Like today, people can't even live in the moment, right? That's what's happened in the last 10 years. Like, it used to be people get on the Bird, get on stage, and just live in the moment and
right,
do the Bird and focus on what's happening. And now, maybe 30%, 40% of them are without their cell phones and trying to get a selfie. That's like,
that's
wow.
Right.
That's where we're at now. That's where we're at.
Yeah, you see entire shows filmed, and you're wondering, did they really enjoy the show?
Right, or they just, yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing where we're at. Like, I'm gonna try and do a no cell phone Tuesday or something about it. Live in the moment. Tuesday.
Yeah. See, the ideas are popping like crazy. So
you talk to somebody. Tuesday.
Yeah.
Leave your cell phone at the door. Get to know somebody.
They used to have clubs here when I was growing up. It was a few years before I was allowed to go to clubs, but my buddies who are a couple of years older than me said they go to the club and they had telephones at the tables, and you call a girl at the table, same nightclub, to try to talk and hook up with her. It was a really bizarre concept.
That's kind of cool.
yeah, right. Well, Tori Ruffin has been our special guest, and it's been way too long from having you on, and we definitely want to have you on when the new record's out. And if you're on the East Coast, we got to get you to the studio one of these days.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, maybe we've been wanting to do some East Coast shows with the band, so if we ever get close. Actually, a friend of mine who probably a friend of the show too, we call him Plaid Rock, but his name is Mark Wallace. He manages Jesse now. Jesse
okay, yeah.
Yeah, he lives in Philly.
Okay.
So Big Juice might be coming through the East Coast, man. We love everybody's support. Well, if we do get up there, I need everybody come out and support, man. That'd be great.
Yeah, we'll definitely be playing. Want to thank you, Tori, for letting us play a few tracks. And we can we play Cookies and Freak Juice cookies?
Hey, Cookies and Cream, because this is my blues track, but again, it's just in the early stage. I just wanted to give you a taste. These are just like the latest two that came out. I got other stuff, but give them about 45 seconds. I just want you to hear this bass by Alex Al, man. It's incredible. Give them 45 seconds of that, man. And
yeah, then we'll play Electric Purgatory, which is Freak Juice
nice.
from Like You, and we'll call it an evening. But I want to thank you, Tori.
Okay, thank you, man.
Enjoy your 3 weeks off, but not really 3 weeks off, but enjoy the time off the road.
I will, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Tori.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you, guys.